So here's the first question. And you must remember, these are all exam type questions. These all come from exams. Okay, so this revision course is all about looking at exam contextual questions. So here is a payslip. This is Mr. Rajesh Gowda's payslip. It's a monthly payslip for him. There's a whole lot of information here in the top left-hand side. We can see a block here with personal info. We don't really have to worry about that too much. Bongan, you there? Are you,
Yes,
there?
sir.
Can you hear me this time?
Yes, it's just my screen is blank, sir.
Okay, it happens sometimes. The best thing to do is to log out and log in again. All right.
Okay, sir.
All right,
Yes.
try that. Okay. Right, so top left there we have details, personal details, and then we have more company information here in this section of the payslip. But the most important stuff is what happens down here in this block over here. All right, and we can see that this block is also again split up into the earnings, what this person receives, and then the deductions that this person has to pay before he gets the money into his bank account. So those two blocks there really are the most important blocks of the payslip. All right, let's have a look at the questions. Let's go straight into it. Here we go, 2.1.1. What is the difference between an employer and an employee? We're not really going to go over that too much. I'm going to just help you guys out here. So the employer is the person that owns the company, and he employs people in his company. The employee is the person that the owner has employed. So the employee works for the employer. All right, that's the relationship there. Let's get into some calculations. All right, 212, here we go. Calculate the value of A, the total deductions. All right, the value of A, the total deductions. This value here, how are we going to work that out? Who would like to put in chat or raise their hand and let me know what we can do to find out the value of A, the total deductions? It should be quite easy for you guys. Katlejo. There we go. Katlejo is going to let us know. Katlejo, how are you?
Hello, sir. I'm good, and you, sir?
Good, thank you. What should we do here? How do we find the value of A?
I'm going to add all the amounts.
Excellent. Thank you very much, Katlejo. So we need to add up the salary advance, the PAYE, the UIF to get the total deductions. Well done, Katlejo. Thank you very much.
Thank
All
you,
right.
sir.
Excellent. Yes, thank you. You guys know what to do. All right, so go ahead and add it up. All right, Umpilia there with an answer. His calculator is ready. Make sure your calculators are ready to do the work. He's got an answer there. Just remember, whatever you're doing on the calculator, guys, you're going to write that out in the exam as well, hey? So it's easy to type it all out. Very good. The answers are coming in. Easy to type it out in the calculator, but that information it has to go down on the exam answer script. Okay, so we're just going to add these up here on the screen. 137.50. Just going to add up those three totals. And like you guys are showing me, 2427 and 50 cents. All right, so 2427 and 50 cents. I'm just going to put a little arrow here to say that this is, we're going to add them. And the answer was 2427 and 50 cents. All right, just a note. Okay, there's a question about VAT. We'll see if we can't find a VAT question. In fact, there is a VAT question coming right at the end of this lesson. Okay, the screen is a bit tiny. All right, thank you, Sonia. All right, thank you guys. You give me some feedback like, sir, I can't see anything. What's going on here? The screen's too small. Please let me know, guys, so I can try and fix it so you guys can see what's going on. So let me move these questions down a bit, and then I can make this a little bit bigger. All right, Sonia, I hope that helps. Okay. All right, let's bring back our total here. All right, so that is our total for A. That is question 212. Okay. All right, next question. I see some of you guys are, looks like you're jumping the gun already. It says here, show by calculations how the overtime payment amount of 37350 was calculated. So what are they talking about? This overtime amount which is made up of the hours, which is 50, and the rate, which is obviously 75 Rand per hour. Hours is 3750 calculated, and we've got an answer from someone there on the screen already. So I'm just going to write here 213. It's 50 hours, and I'm writing all my units as you should too. 75 Rand per hour. And this gives us, oopsie, sorry, we're checking here. So 50 times 75. Yes, that gives us 3750. All right, so when they say check that or show how, all right, so when they say here in the question, show how or show by calculation or check that, you've got to get the same answer that they're getting. If you're not, don't just leave it. All right. If you're not getting the same answer that they're getting, if they say show how we get this, and you're not getting this value, put a little star next to this question in the exam, move on to the next one, but you need to come back and make sure that you get the same answer that they get. All right. So if you don't spend too much time on it, move on, and then come back to this one and make sure that you get it right the next time. Okay. So let's go to the next question. This is 214. Define the term net pay according to the given context. So according to this context of a salary slip, who can tell me what is net pay? What is net pay? Emmanuel?
So net pay is the total amount of money that is paid to the employee at the end of the month.
At the end of the month. Now, does that mean before or after deductions?
After deductions have been made.
Very good. Very good. Well done. Thank you, Emmanuel. So the gross salary is before deductions. You take away deductions, and that'll give you your net pay. All right. Thank you, Emmanuel. Good job. All right. So the gross is what comes in, everything that comes in. So this 13,750 is the gross before deductions. And then we worked out the deductions. So the net pay, which is this one here, is the gross before deductions. Take away the deductions, that'll give us our net pay. All right, so this formula here, you can try and explain that worse. So net pay is the gross amount that's coming in minus deductions or before deductions. And you guys are typing it out there in chat. Very good. Yes, those answers are fantastic. All right, so that was question 214. I'm going to rub that one out so we can see the next question's calculations. All right, we're on 215. Calculate the PAYE amount as a percentage. So the PAYE amount, where is that? That is up here, 1,290. Calculate that as a percentage. As a percentage of what? All right, as a percentage of total payment amount. Okay, so when we calculate a percentage, we always need a fraction, right? So there's a fraction. Now, what's underneath the fraction, the denominator, you look for this word of. All right, so the total payment amount must come underneath our fraction. Where is the total payment amount? Here it is here. There's the word total payment. So there's the total payment amount. So this total payment amount comes here. So this is 13,750. And what are we working out as a percentage? The PAYE amount, like I said before, there it is there on the right-hand side. So that is on top of our fraction, 1290. And you guys should have an answer by now. All right, we're not finished yet. I have to show this as a percentage. Okay, I'm going to leave it there. You guys are going to tell me what the answer is. You guys should be doing this together with me. So you should be working on your calculators. All right, we're getting 9,38. All right, looks like we're getting 9,38. You guys should do it on your calculator and get the same thing. There we go, really, with a percentage sign. All right, good. Looks like we're getting the right thing. Okay, so I'm going to just do that on my calculator. So fraction 1290. At the bottom of my fraction, 13,050. I need to multiply by 100 to get a percent. 9.3818. I'm going to write that all out. 9.3818%. And to round this off always to 2 decimal places, I look at the second decimal place, which is the 8. Will it change with the 1 behind it? No. So that's just going to be 9,38%. Guys, always showing 2 decimal places unless told otherwise. Did they tell us otherwise? Oh, they did. Round off your answer to the nearest percentage. So here's a specific instruction. We always round off to 2 unless they tell us to do something special. They've told us to do something special here. So let's go back. We're not looking at the second decimal place. We're looking at the 9, the nearest percentage. Will that 3 change the 9? No, it won't. So this is just going to be 9%. All right. Okay, so you guys are all getting the correct answer to 2 decimal places, but there was a specific instruction. You know that part of the instruction in the exam where it says round off to 2 unless otherwise stated? Well, here's the otherwise stated. Specific instruction, round off to the nearest percentage. Okay, so we're not going to leave it as 2. We're going to round off to the nearest percentage, which is 9. If this 3 here, I'll take away the 3. If it was a 5, then this answer would go up to 10%. All right, so if that number behind the 9 is 5 or more, you're just going to go round up to 10%. But it's not 5, it is 3, so it must stay as 9%. Okay, hope you guys are getting all this. You should be okay. Guys, remember, if at any point you have any questions, please don't just sit there. Raise your hand, type it in chat, let us know if you have any questions about what's going on at the moment. Okay. All right, so those are the 2 calculations here. We had 1 question, which is a written statement. 212 is a calculation. 213 is a calculation, which we did. 214 determine the term, so that's a written statement. 215 is a calculation. So far we've got 3 questions out of 5 that are calculations. The rest are all written statements. Last one here, state, again, another written statement. State 1 benefit of contributing towards UIF. Who can help me with that? Don't ever hold your peace, says Kia. Speak now, don't ever hold your peace. All right, Emmanuel, just check your screen there. Or did you put your hand down? I thought the hand went up and then the hand went down. Ah, Katlejo. Short-term relief to workers when they become unemployed or unable to work because of maternity. Very good answer. Very good answer.
Answer.
Yo, that's like a straight out of a textbook. All right. Short-term relief to workers when they become unemployed or unable to work because of maternity. Yeah. So if something happens to you, like you have an accident, the company you work for, there's a huge fire and destroys the company. It's horrible to think about it, but it could happen. So whatever reason that you find yourself out of the job and it wasn't your fault, all right, you can then apply to the UIF fund, and they can give you a monthly salary, not a salary, but like a monthly payments to help you while you're trying to find work again. Okay, so you see the maternity. So when moms are having their babies, unfortunately, they can't work that last month and the first couple of months when the baby is born. So you can apply to the UIF to help you out while you don't have work during those maternity months. Okay, very good answer. So if you're unemployed for whatever reason, you can apply to the UIF to help give you a monthly payments while you are waiting to start work again for whatever reason. Okay, very good. So very interesting. In this exam, we had 3 written statements and 4 calculations. You guys should be getting a lot of marks in this kind of question, right? Quite basic. All right. Yeah, it is like paid leave. It is, it's not officially paid leave. It's insurance to cover your monthly salary. So it's insurance to cover a monthly salary. It's the most important thing is to get that monthly amount. They don't always give you your full salary. There's a way they calculate it or determine it. But yes, it's like you can't work, not by choice. You can't work, and while you're trying to find work again or just about to go back to work, they will give you a monthly amount. And every company who pays tax for their employees should be paying UIF. When you see a salary slip that the company gives you, you should be paying UIF. Yeah, Baudi, it's debatable. I mean, you could be earning a small salary and say, does this salary really help me? It depends on what your needs are. So when my son was about to be born, we applied to the UIF and they gave us a portion. It wasn't the full salary. And it did help. We knew that we weren't going to get a full salary, so we saved up beforehand. So that's that, if you know what's going to happen, you can kind of soften the blow. But at least you know there's something out there. And it's not much. It's only 1%. You're only paying 1% of your total earnings, which is nothing. Look there, it's 137 Rand for this person. Okay. So it's not much at all. It's 1%. So it's not much to pay this. And then it's something you can draw on. It doesn't always give you a full salary, but every little bit does help. It's better than nothing. Okay. And it's not much to pay. So you can just pay it and forget about it. All right. That was the warm up, ladies and gentlemen. Now we're going to get into the meat. Okay, I told you guys there was going to be a tariff table. It's time to have a look at one now. Okay, so let's have a look at the question. It says here, Good Boys Car Washing Bay is in an area where water is charged according to the water tariff structure shown in table 2 below. All right, now municipalities have these. Lauren, don't worry. Don't stress. Municipalities have these tariff tables on their websites. If you are going to rent a place or own a house and are paying water and electricity, the water charge will be charged according to a table like this. So it's not just an exam question that you have to deal with. This is real life that you're going to have to deal with. Okay, so tariff tables are a thing. Okay, so let's have a look at this. Let's understand the table first. So we got a tariff payment structure here. All right, we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 rows of tariffs. Let's look at the first one. Okay, now this is a normal thing to see in tariff tables. They've done away with it now, which I don't understand the legality of that. But in 1994, when Nelson Mandela was freed, he made some statements saying every South African household deserves a certain amount of water, potable water, free. Okay, so they decided that 6 kiloliters of free water was enough for an average household to get by with some basic needs. So this first 6 kiloliters here is always usually 0 rands. All right. So that's interesting. And then underneath that, we have all these other tariffs. And you can see here, as you move down the tariff table, it gets more expensive. And we'll talk more about that now. Now, let's look at these headings here in the table. So we've got block here, just to name the rows. And then in the middle column, we've got usage in kiloliters. Who can tell me how many liters in a kiloliter? All right. Manual?
So there are, yes, sir.
I'm
There
with you.
is 1,000 liters in a kiloliter.
Absolutely. Excellent. Good job. Thank you, Emmanuel. All right. Excellent. 1,000 liters in a kiloliter. 1,000 meters in a kilometer. 1,000 grams in a kilogram. It's all the same. So kilo means 1,000. Okay, so 1,000 liters of water here, which is quite a lot. Or is it? When we do measurement, you can talk about that. So it's a kiloliter is 1,000 liters. So in this first row, we've got 0 to 6 here. So let's look at the first one, which is 0 to 6. So if you're using anything from 0 to 6 kiloliters of water, you will not be charged. Okay, but if you go over that into the second row here, all right, you see how they have this plus 6? The plus means if you go over 6, so above 6. It's another way of saying above 6. Okay, sometimes they will use things like this. They'll use inequality signs. All right. I've seen this before, and it confuses everyone. All right. Oh, hold on. Yeah, that's right. So kiloliters are greater than. So when your kiloliters are greater than 6, but less than or equal to 15. Okay. So sometimes I'll use inequality signs like this. It's just another way of showing that there's an interval from 0 to 6. Okay. If you go over 6, all right, for example, 6,0001, then you're in the next interval, and that goes all the way up to 15. Okay, so it's just one way of them showing above 6. All right. So if you're on 6, you're in the first row. But if you 6,0001, you're in the second row, above 6. Okay. All right. Yeah, so there's an inequality sign. So I've seen some matric math lit papers with them, but usually they give it to you like this. It means exactly the same thing from one number to another. And it just means that, for example, in the second row, if it's a plus 6, it's above 6. Okay, but don't worry too much about it. All right. If you're in this row and you're using water above 6 kiloliters a month, that water from the 6 kiloliters to 15 kiloliters, you are getting charged at $9.35 per kiloliter. So think of these as per kiloliter rates. Okay. All right. So we have all these intervals, and you can see here the more or the higher your water usage is, we go from 15 to 30, 11 Rand 16, 30 to 45, 12 Rand 54, 45 to 60, 13 Rand 98. And if you're 60 plus, which means above 60, you're paying 15 Rand 35 for anything above 60. Okay. There is a note at the bottom as well. VAT is value added tax. The VAT rate is 15%. Do these values include VAT? Well, that says excluding VAT. So no, these rates are excluding VAT, which means they could ask us to include VAT later on. Just remember that. All right. The person was asking about VAT. We might be using that here. All right. Another thing to note. Now, I don't know if you guys remember when I've done this in the past. It helps to know how much water is in each block. So I recommend when you get this question, you know what's coming, write down next to these numbers here, how much water is in each block. So in the first one, it's easy. I'm going to do it. I like doing the easy ones. So there's 6 kiloliters in there. So just do a little 6. All right. Who can tell me how many kiloliters in the second row? How many kiloliters of water are there from 6 to 15? 9. Good. 10. Careful, Emmanuel. 9. 9. All right. We got 9 kiloliters there. 15 to 30. Emmanuel's still sticking with the 10. Emmanuel, come tell me,
Yes, sir.
why do you say 10? How are you getting 10?
15.
So I'm getting 10 because it says the kiloliter starts from 6. So you count
Okay.
from 6 all the way to 15. So it's 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, and 15. So it starts, so the total is 10. So
Okay.
the thing is, what they did is that they said 15 minus 6, meaning they're already excluding the 6.
Okay.
And the 6 is part of the kiloliters.
I hear you. I hear you. Your explanation is very good. You explain exactly what you did very well. All right. Can I show you something here? Because you counted. So I'm going to show you a number line here. And on this number line, I'm going to say 6, and then I'm going to say 7. I'll say 8 as well. You with me, Emmanuel?
Yes, sir.
All right. If you start here, how many kiloliters do you have?
You have
That's
6.
okay, yes, fair enough, because from 0 to 6 is 6. But we're talking about this interval here, which starts at 6. So I'm asking how many kiloliters in this interval. So this interval starts at 6. So at this arrow here, where I'm pointing at the 6, the start of this interval, how many kiloliters do you have? Well, let me ask you this question. If I go from 6 to 7, how
That's
many
1.
kiloliters? That's 1. All right. So when you hit 7, you've done 1. Am I right?
Yes, sir.
Okay, get your fingers ready. So counting the fingers, you hit 7, that's 1. 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. When you hit 15, you've covered
9.
9. So you counted the 6 as your first kiloliter, but on 6, you haven't covered a kiloliter yet. You haven't gone through a kiloliter yet. You with me? You can only start counting kiloliters when you hit the 7. All right. Okay. Yeah. It's
Makes
tricky.
sense.
It's
So the method I was using would only work if maybe there was 7 to 15, then I'll count from 7 to 15.
if it was 5 to 15, you would get 10.
Oh, okay. Thank you,
Yeah.
sir.
No problem. All right. But you explained your method very, very well. Okay. All right. So we've got 9 here, and I see the numbers already. We've got 15 there, and then we've got 15 there, and it looks like we've got 15, 15, 15 all the way down. All right. So I'll show you why we do this when we do the questions. All right. So let's have a look at the question now. Now, it says here, it should say 4.1. I'll put it in. In fact, the whole question is 4.1. I can leave it. I'll just write it here for interest sake. 4.1. Calculate how much the car wash pays a month, including VAT. There it is. We've got to include VAT. So we're going to have to take care of that at the end. When you use 25 kiloliters of water, and give a reason why a step up or increasing block rate system of water tariffs is used to charge water. All right, this question has 2 parts. Calculate how much the car wash pays a month, including VAT, when they use 25 kiloliters of water. So we stop there. The second part of the question, leave it for now. Let's just calculate how much they pay if they use 25 kiloliters of water, and we must include VAT, right? Because these values here are VAT excluding. Okay, all right. Who would like to help me with this? Who's brave enough? Anybody?
We have Vuyo.
Vuyo.
We've got Vuyo on the line.
Vuyo, you there?
There we go.
How are you, Vuyo?
I'm good. How are you?
Good. You're very brave. Everyone's scared of tariffs, but you're the brave one. Come on, show us how you do this.
Okay, so we first use the method that we used, like 0 to 6 equals 6.
All right.
And
So
we
yeah.
we get, for example, 6 kiloliters to, or 15 kiloliters to 6. So yeah, then you get 9. And then you're gonna take the amount that you got, and then you're gonna times it by the amount that is next to the usage of kiloliters.
All
then
right.
you're gonna get your amount, and then with all the amounts that you got, you're gonna plus them. You're gonna get your
Absolutely.
total. Then you're gonna include your VAT.
Absolutely, Vuyo. I couldn't have said it better. All right, you absolutely correct. Okay. Now there's a lot of detail that we didn't say, but her method is absolutely correct. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to take my 25 kiloliters here, and Vuyo, you can check on me here. All right, I've got 25 kiloliters. The first 6 in the first interval must come off. All right, so I'm going to take that first 6 kiloliters off, which means I'm left with 19 kiloliters. All right, that 6 kiloliters there, those 6, the first 6, must get charged at its rate, which in this case, luckily, is 0, which means it's not going to cost anything. But I'll write it there anyway. All right. How many kiloliters of water do we still have left? We still got 19 left. We still got to work with 19 now. All right. So just remember that. Now, in the next interval, I've got 19 kiloliters left. The next interval has a total of 9 kiloliters in that interval. So the next 9 kiloliters of water we use must be charged at this rate. So it's like, this is what they call it, a step up or increasing block system. The next level of water usage is charged at a higher rate. If you go over that, the next level is charged at a higher rate. That's why they call it a step up system. So the next 9 kiloliters, why do I say 9? Because the second interval here, guys, from 6 to 15, there's 9 kiloliters of water in there. We've got 19, so we've got 9. All right. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to say, I've got 19 still. I'm taking 9 from that, which means I have 10 left, by the way. That next 9 kiloliters of water must be charged at this block 2 rate, which is 9 Rand 35. I hope you guys are following. Right, we got to calculate that. I'm going to do this one and you doing the next one, eh? Don't think that, Teacher Dell's doing everything for us. Whoa, you guys are doing the next one. I'm going to give you your own example. So listen carefully. 84 and 15. All right, so the next 9 kiloliters of water we use is 84 and 15. Yes. Yabadi, you have a question?
Hello, sir.
Tell me, how do I pronounce your name correctly?
It's Yabo Adi. Yeah, it's
Yabadi. All right, excellent. Yes, Yabadi. What can I do for you?
I wanted to ask about the formula we're using. What I learned when it came to the 15 minus 6, 9, we would minus the 30 minus the 15, then would minus the 45 minus the 30.
Yeah.
I wanted to ask if that's fine. It won't affect the formula.
No, it won't affect the formula. So these values here that I put on the side, I'm recommending that you do that. It's not, you're not going to get marks for it. It's just a hint. It's just a tip, because you see this 9 here that I've used here.
Sir?
You would have to know that in block 2 there is 9 kiloliters of water, because I've got 19. How do I know if I'm using all the water in block 2 or I'm only part of the way into block 2? You don't know unless you know how much water is in block 2. So this is why I say write these totals out, and then I can compare my 19 kiloliters here and look at block 2 and say, oh, there's only 9 kiloliters in there. So I've got more than enough. So I'm going to use the whole 9. So you'll see now in the next thing I do, where I've got 10 kiloliters, and the next calculation I'm going to do here, I've got 10 kiloliters left after I've just done this calculation, right? And which means I'm in block 3 now. So I can look over at block 3 and because I've written there 15 kiloliters, because I've written there 15, I'm not going to go all the way through block 3 because I've only got 10. I'm going to end somewhere in block 3. You with me?
Yes, sir.
So So those numbers that I've written there in blue in that middle column are just to assist you. They make it a little bit easier to judge, am I going through all the way in this block or will I stop in this block? All right.
Okay.
So it's just a tip. You're not going to get marks for it. It's just a tip
Yes,
to help you keep track of whereabouts in the block. Will you end up in block 3? Will you go through block 3? You won't know until you know how much water is in block 3 and block 2, etc. All right.
Yes, sir.
Okay, excellent.
Thank
Good
you,
question.
sir.
Excellent. Good question. All right. So where are we now? We're in block 2. In fact, let me help by putting numbers. This was block 1. This was block 2. If you want to do this, go ahead. In your exam, when you write down which block you're in. So we've finished. We've gone all the way through block 2. How do I know? Because I had 9 kiloliters. I had enough to go all the way through block 2. I'm now in block 3, and I'm sitting with 10 kiloliters of water still. Will I go through block 3? No, because block 3 has 15 kiloliters of water in it. So I'm not going to go through block 3 into block 4. All right. I'm going to end somewhere in block 3. So what we do now is a little bit different to what I've done already. I'm going to say I'm somewhere in block 3. Okay. Each kiloliter in block 3 is charged at 11 Rand 16. I've got 10. Okay, I've got 10 kiloliters. I'm not going through block 3. I'm going to stay here and get charged at 11 Rand 16. So my last 10 kiloliters, I don't have to minus water now. I'll just say this is my last 10 kiloliters. All of this water must get charged at the block 3 rate. Okay. So it's 10 times 11 Rand 16. And that gives us 111. Of course it does. You didn't need a calculator for that, but it's fine. The calculator must work for us. All right, so there we go. Now, just like Vuyo said, so you do all these calculations, and then you've got to add them all up. Yes, we now are ready to total up. We've been through 3 blocks and charged 3 different rates and got totals now. So the grand total is your 0 rands. I'm not going to write it, okay? We don't have to add 0 here. So it's just going to be the 84 Rand 15 plus 111 Rand 60. And that'll give us a total water use for 25 liters, 84.15 plus 111.60, 195.75, 195.75. Okay, excellent, Sakile. So it's 195 Rand 75. Okay, are we done? Are we finished? Have we got our 6 marks? This is for 6 marks, guys. Are we done? No, says Vuyo. She's reminding me. She's saying, Teacher Dale, I told you. Did you not hear me? You've got to add VAT. Okay. So what we're going to do, I'm going to use the 2-step method because you guys seem to like it. So I'm going to, and you'll feel comfortable when you see it. So what we're going to do is we're going to take 195 Rand 75 and multiply it by the VAT, which is 15%, and get an answer. So I'm just taking this and multiplying it by my VAT here, 15 over 100, getting an answer of 29 Rand 3625. 29 Rand 3625. I'm showing all my decimals here. Why do I write all my decimals here? Does anyone know? The prices that we've been using, Sakile. Or I'll come back to 11 now. The prices, Sakile, that we've been using here, these rates, are all excluding VAT. So I think you must be thinking, could we not add VAT in each line as we go? You could, but it's probably better to do VAT calculation right at the end. Okay. These values in the table are not VAT inclusive, and they want us to work out the total with VAT. So we have to calculate VAT at the end here. Now, someone mentioned, where did we get where did we use the 11? Why did you use 11?
I also got a question like that, but I'm assuming they referring to the third tier where the
11.16.
charge is 11 Rand and 16 cents.
Good. Yeah, that's what I think as well. All right, so let's go through it again quickly. I'll come back and Vuyo, don't worry, I'm going to come back and do my VAT. Let's just go back and show everyone. So you can see these blue numbers here in our calculation. The 1 stands for block 1. All right, there was 6 kiloliters in block 1. So I took 6 kiloliters from my 25 and I charged it at the block 1 rate. Okay, I had 19 kiloliters left. All right. Now we're going to block 2. I've got more than enough to go all the way through block 2. So I took 9 from block 2 and I charged at the block 2 rate, which is 9.35 Rand. All right. Then I still got 10 kiloliters left. All right. When I did this calculation, I still got 10 kiloliters left. So I'm moving through block 2 into block 3 now. All right. I've got 10 kiloliters in block 3. So I'm just charged at the block 3 rate, which is 11.16 Rand. So these numbers that you see on the side, 1, 2, 3, is me working through each block. Okay, each row of the table. All right, taking water off and charging for each portion of the water as I go. All right, I hope that answers that question. We're going to try to do this again. We will. All right. We will try to do this again. Okay, so let's just come back and finish calculating that. And I had a question here. Why did I not round off here? Why did I not round off this calculated value? I just worked out what is 15% of 195.75. Why have I not rounded off here? When should you round off? Only at the end. I know you think it doesn't really make a difference, but sometimes you can get caught. So please try and keep your decimals and only chop them off at the end. Okay, so we're adding on our VAT here. And let me just add it on. So 195 and 75. And 225, 1125. 225, 1125. Round off to 2 decimal places. So this is going to round off to 225, 11.
You know that if you close your mouth, you can act.
Oh, yeah. All right, so it's 225 and 11 with the VAT included. All right, guys. Now, for some of you that are keen to try this, I'm going to give you a new amount of water. All right. I'm giving you 31 kiloliters, ladies and gentlemen. I want you to try to do this with 31 kiloliters of water. Okay. So you try. I'm going to give you 3 minutes and we'll compare answers. And then I'm going to walk through it again one more time. Okay. But I need you guys to start with this with 31 kiloliters of water. Okay. In fact, I'll leave my calculations on here as a guide. And I'm asking you to use 31 kiloliters of water. Don't get confused now between 31 and 25. I want you to do this with 31 kiloliters of water. All right, I want you to try, please. Vuyo, that's how I would do it. It's exactly how I would do it, but I know a lot of people like the 2-step method. So I'm showing it tonight. I've taught the 1-step method times by 1,15 in term 1. But people are comfortable, especially tonight with a tariff table, they're comfortable in seeing what they know. So I use the 2-step method, but you stick to 1,15. I use it all the time as well. All right, you stick to what you're comfortable with. Okay, all right, guys, 31 kiloliters, off you go. You try to do this. I've got my calculation up there for you. So you can kind of have a guide. All right, so Kile, your calculation there Go straight to the third one because you know you're going to be in the third one. Yeah. But that's 111 Rand 60 needs to be added to what you do in the second block as well. So your calculation is for the third block. That's fine. But you must add that 111 60 cents to the calculation you do for block 2, because block 2 also needs to be charged. All right, so that's good. Don't forget to charge block 2 as well. Okay. All right, I hope you guys are doing well there. You should have some kind of an answer. You should have something there. All right, we got Pete with an answer already. Good job. The speed is good. Pete, I hope the quality is good as well. We'll check. We'll go through it step by step and we'll check again. And those people who are confused with how we do this, when I go over the 31 kiloliter answer, please follow along. All right.
Lisette is asking if they must add VAT.
Good question. Good question. It's always good to practice by adding VAT. We'll do a VAT add at the end, yes. It's good practice. So add VAT. You can have your VAT excluding and your VAT including answer there. I'm going to show both. All right, we're getting different answers. I love it. Okay, now you guys must have done some calculations to get these values. I hope you've written it down somewhere, because when I do this and you want to check where you've gone wrong, you better have something in front of you to check. Okay, so as long as you can see and follow along with your calculation, the difference between yours and mine, to check where we're going wrong, if we're going wrong. Okay. All right, so Morgani is saying 303,692, including VAT. Morgani has done a VAT calculation as well. All right, I'm going to give you one more minute, and then I'm going to go over it step by step. So those people who are still struggling, just listen carefully when I go over this with 31 kiloliters. All right, I'm going to start rubbing out my 25 kiloliter work. All right, we're getting answers there. Good stuff. All right, ladies and gents, I'm going to start going over this. If you want to carry on with yours, it's fine. I only check at the end with the answer, but we have a little bit of time left, so I want to make sure we can get through this calculation. All right, so watch what I do. 31 kiloliters. All right, we're always taking off 6 kiloliters in the first line here, which means we have 25 kiloliters left. That's 6 kiloliters gets charged at 0 Rand per kiloliter, so we have 0 rands for that first block. All right, makes sense. We still have 25 kiloliters left, so I'm going to write it here. We've got 25 kiloliters. I know I'm going to go through the second block because the second block is 9. I have 25. I'm going all the way through there. So I'm going to take a whole 9 off my 25, which will leave me with 16. All right, that 9 gets charged at the second block rate, which is 9.35. So that's what this calculation is. The whole 9 gets charged at 9.35 Rand, which will give me 84 Rand and 15 cents. Okay. Now, the difference between the previous one and this one happens now. I've still got 16 kiloliters left. All right. How many kiloliters are there in block 3? You'll all look over to block 3, and because I wrote those numbers down there, a quick glance will tell you that I've got 15 kiloliters in block 3, but I've still got 16 kiloliters left, which means I'm going through all of block 3 and I'm hitting block 4. So yeah, this is what I do. I say, take my 16 kiloliters, take out 15 kiloliters, which is the whole of block 3. I'm just left with 1 kiloliter, which will have to go into block 4. But for this 15, which is all the water in block 3, I must charge it at block 3 rates, which is 11 Rand and 16 cents. This is the difference now. It wasn't just 9, we got 15 here that we're charging. All right, so it's 11 Rand 16, which gives me 167 Rand and 40 cents. So 167 and 40 cents. Okay, I still got 1 kiloliter left. I've used up all of block 3. I'm unfortunately in block 4 now, but I've only got 1 kiloliter in block 4, not 15 or 9, just 1. And each kiloliter in block 4 is charged at this rate, the block 4 rate, which is 12 Rand 53. So I say that 1 kiloliter that I have left gets charged at the block 4 rate, which is 12 Rand and 53 cents. Okay, now to save us time, because we got the quiz link coming up, the rest of this question I'm not going to do and write out because it's going to take too much time. I'm just going to do it on my calculator. All right. Okay, so this is going to give us 12 Rand 53. So all my totals need to be added up now. That one, and that one. Okay, so watch what I do. Oopsie. I just need to grab my calculator and move it to the side. Okay, so 84 Rand 15 for block 2 plus 167 Rand 40 for block 3 plus 12 Rand 53 for block 4. So without VAT, you should be getting 264 Rand 08, which is why we saw a lot of people getting 26408. Okay, but we need to do a VAT calculation. All right, I'm going to use Rio's method here, which just says times by 1.15. If you guys did a VAT calculation, you should all be getting 303 and 69 cents. Okay. All right, 303 and 69 cents. All right. Some people are getting very close. There we go, Bongan. Well done, you got it. All right, one guy, yes, that's the VAT excluded price. So yeah, some guys getting VAT excluded. Yes, Pete. This is a 6-mark question. It's not easy, eh? So if you're getting close, you're on the right track. What I'm going to do is I'm going to just write here, add totals, and then add VAT. I'm going to write that as another instruction. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to zoom out. Okay. So you guys can take a screenshot of that and try that yourself. All right. Try that yourself. The answer, I'm just going to put it right on the side here. Oh, it's all gone. All right. I'm going to write on the side while Kia puts up the quiz link, and then you guys can take a screenshot. Okay. So I'll put the answer up here while Kia puts up this quiz link, and then you can take a screenshot. All right. So Kili, past papers are the best. What you could do is go and watch the YouTube videos of all our lessons, especially the revision courses. That'll help. If you can find exam papers with answers and do those questions and check your answers, that's the best way to study. All right, so go check videos, find exam papers with memos. That is the best way to study. Emmanuel.
So I'm very sorry to disturb, especially in this late hour.
It's fine.
of the lesson, but I think, you know, I'm not sure if it's either you are wrong or I am terribly confused. But on number 3, nah,
Yeah.
the answer there was 167, and I see. Okay, wait. I see 15 kiloliters times 11,6, right?
0.16. Maybe I did it wrong.
Oh. I
167.14.
wrote the wrong one. Sorry, sir. I wrote
That's okay.
1
Not a problem.
7.
That's fine.
Now
It's
I
okay
see
if you.
no problem. Thank
It's
you,
fine
sir.
if you make a little mistake like that. As long as you know the method and you understand what you're doing, you're going to be fine for the exam. Thanks, Emmanuel.